All right, so my name's Michael Queenan, and I'm going to do a peer review. This is of the composition part one. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. This is the third image on the reviewees um, composition folder, and I'd like to say a couple things about it. I mean, I think it has great movement from focal point to focal point. I think there's multiple here. You can look at the dog's face, which is one in the rule of thirds, and so is his. Yeah, I mean, they're both in pretty good positions. He's got great bokeh, and where the back is a little bit more pixelated and blurred than the foreground, and it really brings your eye around the page well. Let's go ahead and talk about the fifth image. So we'll go one, two. I didn't really like this image that much. I feel like it kind of lacks a focal point, but I do like the color and the framing. The plants almost add to the image. Um, I feel like that was a pretty good example of what framing could be, but I would like to do maybe something more interesting and like maybe move the plants down a little bit in the composition so that a focal point could be at the top left. Um, let's look at this image is good. I really like this one. It has great depth of field. I feel like you put the horizon line in a pretty good spot. I like the foreground. It's kind of a little shadowed where he's standing up on top of the hill. Maybe there's some more mountain or something behind him, hill, something like that. I like the mood of the photo. It kind of seems like a hot summer day, and you're escaping the heat, and you're sitting in front of like some type of monument. Kind of has a little bit of emotion there. I liked this photo a little bit. It wasn't one of his best. Wasn't a weak one though either. I feel like there's too much almost empty space up in the top of the photo, but that could be easily fixed. Just angle the camera down just a little bit more, get a little bit more of the substance to the photo. Um, I like how the train takes your eye from the front, the foreground, all the way to the background. It brings you to a building with some yellow, kind of the color of the photo. I did not like this photo that much. Kind of just seemed like, point up, take one. I like how the sun's hitting that, but wouldn't think it was completely photo worthy. I really like this photo. The hue on this, the yellow and the cream, it's very calming, relaxing. The rust on the railing um, adds to it quite a bit. The photo makes it look almost run down, something like that. Has a really good feel to the photo. I like this photo, but almost kind of feel like a little cliche. Maybe just because we're here in Lexington, we see this all the time. But um, I do like the angle that he took it at. Could be just because of the seats. Could be because he walked by and saw a cool angle. Uh, Not much else going on there. I did not like this one. A little flat. The texture is really cool. I wish he could pair that with some more something to look at. I really liked this image. The plants in the foreground are obvious. They capture your attention really fast, and then the road takes you back towards the back of the photo, and so do the electrical lines. Looks really cool. I didn't like this one. Super flat. It almost seems like it doesn't have texture, even though you know it does. Um, Other than that, I think the color is cool. That's a plus of this photo, but pair it, like I was saying, with something more for the eye to look at. Once again, I didn't like this photo. It had more potential than I think it ended up with. I just don't know what. I guess the car would be the focal point, and then it just kind of spreads out. I just didn't like how um, almost flat the image feels. I think this is a pretty cool image. Um, it's got a lot going on and a lot of lines to bring your eye a lot of places, but I keep getting drawn back into that golden statue of a horse and I like the angle that the wall is at. It almost brings you into that horse as well. This is a cool image. I think she did a good job, or he did a good job with the horizon line. Ends up right at her face. That's good for the eye, good for the movement. Same with the trees. They all end up kind of keeping you going back to her, so she stays at the focal point. The tree that's right above her is really cool. I like how the light's hitting that. It was a good time of day for that photo. This was one of my favorites. I like the hay. Everything points toward the hay, and the hay's got that round rotational, symmetry and that kind of thing. They're stacked well, like it just looks appealing. And I like how the depth of field brings you back. The rolling hills keep you back going towards the back right of the photo, and the hay almost takes you away from the photo that way, so everything kind of points towards each other. Great composition. The horses are really cool. I liked the fences leading into them. Their face mask has kind of like opposite, red and blue, fire and ice type thing going on. That's really cool. Everything about this photo looks appealing to me. I like everything, but maybe you can't control the weather, but like a little more sunshine would have been nice for this photo. I mean, I do like the feel. It feels cool. Doesn't have a warm feeling. It has more of like that fall, spring, more fall feeling to it. Pretty cool. This is one of my least favorites. I don't know what it is about it. I just feel like it lacks a focal point. You kind of just look at it for a second, and you just glance over it. You can't really find anything that pulls your eye. I like the framing that these trees could offer around the road. It'd be really cool if you got a picture of, you fetch with the dog or something like that, and him with the ball in his mouth coming back down the road. That would be really cool, something like that. That's the only way I'd see improving upon this. I think it's a pretty good photo, though. Didn't like this one. I know the assignment was color, and that was a strong part of the assignment, but I feel like that was almost like too obviously planned. Not a great photo of emotion or anything like that either. I think it's just kind of plain, even though it has so much different, rich, vibrant color. I didn't like this one that much. I get what happened. You saw the clouds moving in. They look really cool. Just maybe a different angle, maybe away from the parking lot. I feel like that kind of takes away from what you're looking at, or maybe over top of the cars, so you didn't see them as much. You paid more attention to the sky. I liked this photo a lot. I love how the sun's hitting it and creating this form around the gazebo. It looks really, really, really good there. Kind of rich in color, and then it's also got those yellow hues from the sun. I think it's a great photo. And I really like this one. The barn's really cool. Everything, all the fences, they've got good lines that bring you right to the barn. The barn's kind of situated in a spot around the corner. I mean, they've even got an arrow pointing towards the barn a little bit, pulling your eye. Good color, good find there. I like this one a lot. I think the light's really attractive with the black, the rich black against kind of the old rustic bricks and stuff like that. I think it's really cool. A lot of angles pointing all over the place, keeping your interest for a while. I like all the railroads. The railroads are cool. Bring your eye way back, kind of like a straight road. Tons of lines. Love the sky in this one as well. It has a really rich blue behind this white, a lot of contrast. And I believe that's it. So let's look at a couple of my favorites. This one, definitely one of my favorites. I really like the rust and the yellow on this one. And then lastly, I really like the barn. The barn is really cool. And improvements. I thought there was a couple that kind of just looked like there's some cool shapes in there. I don't have a huge problem with that one. This one just too flat, that kind of thing. Same with this one, has really cool color. too flat. I think that's pretty much it. I think this person had a pretty good understanding of the requirements and everything like that, and I think they did a great job.